right, guys, welcome to Teal House Farm, and today is the last day of October. It's actually Halloween. Yes, JJ? Yes, it is trunk or treat tonight. The girls are very excited to wear their costumes, which we still have to figure out, because we're kind of putting our own together out of things we already have. Okay, we'll figure it out. They got to finish their chores first. But tomorrow is November 1st, and we are starting on a little bit of an adventure of a project called No Waste November, and we want to invite you guys, any of you who want to come join us. And I want to clarify before I get into the nitty-gritty that No Waste November is our catchy, alliterated title, but it does not have to be zero waste for you. We want to encourage everybody to decrease the amount of waste that they are sending to the landfill. So for example, right now we are a family of 8, and I also have, livestock and a dog and a lot of cats and things like that. And right now we produce about 4 to 5 13-gallon kitchen bags of trash, plus 3 to 4 Walmart-sized trash bags out of the bathroom waste bin. And honestly, looking through that waste this last month, the vast majority of that waste is waste we don't really need to be producing. It's just produced because it's convenient to buy one-time use products and throw them away. And our goal is to get that down to producing 1 13-gallon trash bag size of waste a week. And I think this is very doable. Like I said, looking through the trash, a lot of it is things that are things that we don't really need to be purchasing or throwing away, or things that the kids just aren't paying attention, and they're throwing food scraps in the trash can when they need to go either in the compost or the chicken bucket, and just kind of retraining them about where things go, and so that we make sure that we're being good stewards of the resources we have. So why does this matter? Why would you even want to consider doing this? I'll give you a couple things to think about. The first is going into November, especially if you're in America, we're talking about going into what tends to be very waste-heavy holidays time. Life gets busy, it gets stressful, and so what we do to try to counter that stress is we buy a lot more disposable products, and especially pre-packaged foods or fast foods or takeout type products, which produce a massive amount of waste. That all costs you much more money. I think we all know how in November and December money just seems to disappear, and we blame a lot of it probably on buying presents and things, which I think some of that's true, but I think a lot of it is just our habits when we get stressed, and how we then take that and try and buy things to make life easier, a lot of one-time use products that are very, very expensive. And so by doing this for the month of November, I think we will find that it's going to save us a considerable amount of money, or at least prevent us from spending money that we don't usually spend year-round, but tends to be spent in November because we're heading into the holidays and things get busy and crazy. The other thing to consider is that according to research, the average American produces about 5 pounds of waste a day, and that's incredibly notably higher than our European counterparts, and it's really a lot of unnecessary waste. I'll link a website below that has a lot of the research in graphs and kind of easy ways to read it, but you'll notice that a large percentage of the waste is actually things that don't need to be sent to the landfill. There are things like food scraps that could be composted. There are things like metals that could be recycled. I will say that plastics are a huge percentage of that. And plastics, though they technically can be recycled, most of them never get recycled. They end up being sent to a landfill. So I would really highly encourage you to not consider plastic recycling as waste reduction, because it's really just you spending the time to sort it into another bin to then have it eventually thrown away. So things like metals and glass are what I would call true recyclables. The majority of them can actually be recycled, and recycled relatively efficiently. But plastics are not. And plastics are really kind of the downfall, I feel of our waste production system. We produce so much waste from one-time use plastics, or plastics that we believe are recyclable when they really are not. And while plastics are cheaper than other products, they're not usually cheaper in a large way. And In a lot of instances, and you'll see this as we go through this month and we show you the things that we do, a lot of these instances, the plastics can easily be replaced by something else, that, especially something reusable that is not that much more expensive. And after a few weeks of using the reusable product, you actually end up saving money because you're not going out and buying the disposable plastic version. Anyway, this is all important because producing 5 pounds of waste per American is billions and billions of pounds of trash a year. And all of that trash sits in a landfill. And the way that a landfill works is things do not easily decompose like they do in a compost pile. And so if you look back, there's scientists that study garbage, and they will drill a core into a landfill, and they will pull out orange peels and newspapers from the 1960s that still look almost as good as they did when they were thrown away, because the way a landfill is packed, the amount of plastic that we use to wrap our trash in, things cannot naturally decompose. If I throw a newspaper or an orange peel into my compost pile, by next year you won't be able to tell which was which, right? It's all broken down. And that's the way that waste should be working. And by reducing the amount of waste that we are wrapping in a plastic trash bag and sitting at the end of our driveway, we are in turn being able to return more materials to the earth through composting, or not returning at all by consistently reusing, than just taking those materials out of the earth, creating them into something, and then never letting them decompose back and give back to the earth. So quick ground rules. If you think you might want to participate, we would love to have you. If you are a vlogging channel, I know some of you are, and you want to participate, we just ask that you add #NoWasteNovember to your title. And if you want to tag us as the original content idea creators, we would appreciate that too in your description. But the basic rules are, we are counting waste as anything that is plastic. So we are not doing any plastics recycling. We don't even have that option where we live, but you might. We are not doing any plastics recycling. All plastic must go in the waste bin. And it is anything like that, plastics or otherwise, that you will put in a trash bag and sit at the end of your driveway to be picked up for traveling to the landfill. Okay, anything that's going in your waste bin. Things that do not count as trash are anything you are going to compost or feed to your chickens or whatever animals you have. Hi, unicorn. We are also not counting paper and cardboard waste. A lot of that can be composted. We also sometimes burn it. We're not considering that trash, which really opens up your avenues for packaging. We are limited in where we can buy our food products, and so a lot of our packaging waste comes from food products. But we can choose to buy things that are packaged in cardboard instead of in plastic, and that really helps reduce our waste, the amount of things that we are sending to the landfill in our trash can. You also do not have to get to zero waste, so if you could do that, that'd be really interesting to see. That isn't possible for us for several reasons. Just the most basic is that we have a child who has medication that will always come in disposable bottles and containers. We also do not have like I said, a really good option for buying unpackaged food. We do grow a lot of our own food in the summer, but it's now getting into winter. So we will have food packaging that I just can't avoid if I want to feed everybody a well-balanced diet. So like I said, we are reducing our waste down to 1 13-gallon kitchen trash bag. We encourage you to look at the amount of waste that you produce and just figure out what is a reasonable reduction, maybe cutting it in half. Again, this is just 1 month. This is for November. So it's be fun to challenge yourself. And if you find that you really hate not having certain products, December will come and you can go back to doing what you were doing before in those avenues. I'm excited to get started on this. I've already been preparing a little bit. We've already reduced some of our waste. I've just stopped buying certain things. And honestly, a lot of these things I know I don't need to buy. It's just about the convenience. Today I'm going to make some Clorox wipes that are reusable, which I've done before and I just stopped doing because it's just convenient to buy them, but they've gotten pretty expensive. And I'll make a video on those, but it's really easy because you can just grab a wipe and, wipe off the table and be disinfected. Today I'm also going to sew some more reusable shopping bags out of old feed bags. And then I'm also going to make a little bit more baby wipes / family cloth wipes, because we don't have enough. Even if I did diaper laundry every day, we wouldn't have enough for all of those purposes. So I'm going to sew some more, and that's super easy too. But those 3 things right there, I mean, when I was looking in my waste basket and I'm like, what waste am I producing? Which is what I encourage you to do when you're getting started. That was a large percentage of our waste right there. You know, baby wipes, containers. We have a lot of little kids go through a lot of baby wipes, even just like, just on a daily basis. And baby wipes, I love the Clorox wipes because they're so easy. So we'll take those out of the trash can and the plastic containers that they come in. And the shopping bags, oh my gosh, I get so many plastic shopping bags because when you do self-checkout, which I find massively easier than waiting in line with 6 kids, you end up with a million plastic bags because I don't have enough reusable shopping bags for what we buy. And that's 100% just me not planning enough ahead to have enough reusable bags. This is a really easy fix. It's not going to cost me a penny. It's going to cost me maybe an hour of my time to make a few more bags out of feed bags, which we already have tons of feed bags, right? I can't avoid the feed bags. They package the stuff that we feed the sheep and the goats. It comes in that plastic lined bags, which I can't compost, so they end up in the trash can. So let's take them out of the trash can for a little bit, make something useful out of them. Anyway, I really hope some of you would like to join us for our no waste / low waste November. We'd love to see your journeys. Don't forget to hashtag it no waste November so we can find you. And if you'd like to tag Teal House Farm in your description, we also appreciate, because that also helps us out a little bit. We will be bringing you along on our journey. We will be showing you the amount of waste that we actually produce every week. We'll also be showing you how we make some of our reusable products, from our reusable laundry soap to sewing the reusable bags to making the wipes, all of those things. We'll be showing you how we do those. So I hope you enjoy our journey, and we will be keeping you guys up to date. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you soon.